William.
Oh, good morning, Caitlin.
You were looking thoughtful. What were you thinking about?
Good question. I was thinking that I have a lot of sympathy for Thomas.
For Thomas who?
You know, Thomas, the disciple of Jesus, the one that wanted proof that Jesus had come back from the dead.
You mean the Thomas who said he'd never believe Jesus was alive until he could actually touch the wounds that killed him?
Yeah, that's the one. I fully get why he wanted proof. I mean, the idea of someone coming back from the dead was and is ridiculous. Who wouldn't want proof?
Absolutely. Thomas just wanted the same proof that all the other disciples had asked for. They didn't believe Mary Magdalene until they actually met with Jesus themselves.
Exactly. With that sort of evidence, it must have been impossible to have any doubts. I wish I had that sort of evidence that Jesus was really alive. It would make it so much easier to believe.
But there is so much evidence that he is alive.
Really?
Absolutely. Christianity is not a blind faith. Where we just hope it's all true. There's loads of evidence for the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus.
What sort of evidence?
Well, there's lots of writings from non-Christian authors of the time that talk about him, and even the claims of his followers that he came back from the dead. 2, there's an archaeological evidence that backs up the stories in the Bible, showing that they were written by eyewitnesses and giving credibility that they were recording what they had seen. 3, there's the evidence in the Bible itself, and the facts presented are like jigsaw pieces. And the only way that all the pieces fit together is if Jesus actually came back from the dead. Nothing else comes close to explaining all the evidence presented.
So, I mean, it's like detective evidence when you look at all the individual pieces of the evidence carefully. They only fit together one way.
Exactly. But there's evidence from history which shows something extraordinary happened, even if you discount a lot of the above.
What evidence?
When Jesus died, the few people that were following him all ran away and hid. Yet just a few weeks later, they were boldly shouting about him to anyone that would listen, and were even prepared to die because they knew that they had seen what they had seen was true. They knew that Jesus was alive.
I guess so. But couldn't they just have been mistaken?
One person might have made a mistake, but not all 12, plus the woman, plus loads more that he had appeared to after he died.
Wow, all that evidence makes it easy to believe in the truth of the resurrection of Jesus. But if the evidence is so overwhelming, why doesn't everyone believe in Jesus?
Good question. I think it's because they aren't listening.
They aren't listening?
Yes. When Jesus was teaching, he sometimes said, "If anyone has ears to hear, let them hear." But there were some people who did not really hear what he said.
You mean like when mum asks you to tidy your room and you just don't seem to hear it?
Sorry, what did you say?
Like when mum asks you to tidy your room.
Just didn't quite get that. Could you repeat that slowly?
I said when mum asks you to tidy your room.
No, it's no good. I can see your lips moving, but I'm just not getting anything. Are you on mute?
Caitlin, this is the real world, not Zoom.
That seems to have fixed it. I can hear you now. What I was saying is that some people just aren't listening. They are so certain of what they believe that they don't even look at the evidence. And if they do look at it, they aren't even willing to consider it. They just don't have ears to hear at the time.
So, will they always be deaf to what Jesus is offering them?
That's up to them. I don't think that Jesus ever gives up on anyone. He just patiently waits for them to be ready to listen.
So, what does that mean for those of us that have got ears to hear?
Well, I think Barry might cover something on that in his sermon today.
Not again. I really don't like it when it ends a sketch like this. He really has got to do some work on his punchlines.
Brilliant. Thank you, guys.